7th graders. Today we're going to talk about ratios and rates. And our essential questions are, can you use rates to help you describe real-life problems? Can you identify a unit rate? And can you write a ratio as a fraction? So we first need to talk about a ratio, a rate, and a unit rate. So first, we're going to talk about a ratio. And a ratio is a comparison of two quantities using division. And some examples of ratios would be 3 to 4, because the fraction bar means division. 3 to 4 using the word 2, or 3:4. So ratios can be written in 3 ways, which I'm sure you remember from last year. A rate is a ratio of two quantities with different units. So here we had no units, we just had 3 to 4. We didn't say what we were talking about. A rate has two different units. For example, 60 miles per 1 hour. So miles and hours would be our two separate sets of units. A unit rate is a rate with a denominator of 1. So 60 miles per 1 hour is a unit rate. If I had 300 miles in 3 hours, the unit rate for that rate would be 100 miles per hour. Has 1 for its denominator. Alright, so we're going to continue on and talk about finding ratios and rates. Our problem says there are 45 males and 60 females in a subway car. The subway car travels 2.5 miles in 5 minutes. Find the ratio of males to females. So I would write just something that's going to help me remember males to females. And I have to write them in the same order that they're given. So I know that I have 45 to 60. And this doesn't say that we have to reduce it, so we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to leave it how it is. Letter B says find the speed of the subway car. Well, the subway car travels 2.5 miles in 5 minutes. And that doesn't tell us the speed. So we do need to reduce that down. All I have to do to get this to be a denominator of 1 is to divide them out. So 5 goes into 2.5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So the subway car is going 0.5 miles per minute. Letter C says find the ratio of females to males. So now I need an F and then an M. on this one, we know there are 60 females and 45 males. So that's our answer. Like I said, unless it tells us to reduce, we don't have to. And our directions do not say to reduce. On number 4, letter D, we have find the ratio of females to total passengers. Well, I don't have the total number of passengers. I know there are 60 females. But if there are 60 females and 45 males, the number of total passengers would be 105. So I can just write that down. Alright, turn to the next page. We're going to look at finding a rate from a table. So the table shows the amount of money you can raise by walking for a charity. Find your unit rate in dollars per mile. So the first thing we're going to do is write down, okay, here we have $24 in 2 miles. And I know that my unit rate tells me that I want 1 in the denominator, so I'll have 1 mile in the denominator. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so 24 divided by 2 is 12. So our unit rate is $12 per mile. And if I look over here, I can see that 4 miles times $12 per mile would be 48. 6 times $12 per mile would be 72. 8 times $12 per mile would be 96. On the next one, the table shows the distance that the International Space Station travels while orbiting Earth. Find the speed in miles per second. So here I have 14.4 miles in 3 seconds. So now I have to divide. I want to know for 1 second, so I have to divide by 3 to get to 1, divide by 3 to get to 1. So 14.4 divided by 3. 3 goes into 14 4 times. Bring up my decimal point. 3 goes into 24 8 times. So it's orbiting at 4.8 miles per second. It's really fast. Finding the rate from a line graph, which I forgot to draw on your paper. So my line graph looks like this. And this is the time in seconds. And along this side, is our distance. And we have a point at 2, 3. And we have a point at 4, 6. Alright, so my line graph looks something like this. And to figure out the rate, I can say for every 2 seconds, I'm going 3 kilometers. And I don't want to know how far I'm going in 2 seconds. I want to know in 1 second. So if I divide by 2, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5 kilometers in 1 second. And I again forgot to attach this graph. This is how fast sound is traveling through air. And again, that's time and this is kilometers, and I have a point at 2, 0.7, and 6, 2.1. So I know that in 2 seconds, sound travels through air 0.7 kilometers. So now again, I don't want to know for 2 seconds, I want to know for 1 second. So I would divide by 2, and 0.7 divided by 2 would be 0.35 kilometers per second. So does sound travel faster in water or in air? Is 0.35 kilometers per second faster, or is 1.5 kilometers per second faster? 1.5 is definitely faster, so water is the correct answer. It travels faster through water. Alright, you have 5 practice problems to do for getting a 10 out of 10 on your assignment. So you need to write the ratios as fractions, and this does say in simplest form. Find the unit rate, which means you have a denominator of 1. And then use the table to find the ratio on number 5. Have a great night.